Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestlers Debate and to another edition of NXT Out of 10. And of course it's a big show today. NXT Deadline is now in the rearview mirror and we've got some big matches on the show today. Maybe one of the Iron Survivor challenges is competing in their title match. The New Day are also on the show. So yeah, there's lots going on. Let's get straight into it. Roxanne Perez kicks off NXT and was about to celebrate her victory before Grayson Waller interrupts her to celebrate his own win. Perez told him to shut up before Waller said that she would never be able to beat Mandy Rose. Braun Breaker came out to defend Roxanne and chased Waller off before Rose came out there and hit Perez for the title. Perez got up shortly after and demanded a title match with Mandy tonight, and that's exactly what she got. Yeah, good segment start for NXT, kind of interesting how those interlink, but didn't mind it. Obviously setting up the match later on tonight, that's the main point of it. As far as the start of the show goes, this was fine. Backstage then, JD McDonough and Brutus Creed set up a match later tonight in the medical room before Stax and Wesley were in a brawl backstage and spilled out of the ring, and we got an impromptu match. Lee got a bulldog early on before taking a neck breaker. Stax was then sent outside before Lee hit a big senton. Back after a break, Wes took a backbreaker before Stax locked in a single leg crouch. Lee came back with some big moves and got a drop kick to the head. He followed up with a German suplex and did some backflips before hitting a big kick for the win. Dijak made an entry to the match and Tony D used the distraction to attack Wesley. Let's get 6 out of 10 for me. An impromptu match, but of course fun. Wesley was always going to get the win here. I think it's kind of really to further the Tony D and Dijak stuff, which I think it did successfully. On the whole, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. It was then time for Toxic Attraction versus Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. Carter and Chance were at the commentary table for this match. Toxic Attraction were in control early and sent Nile outside and hit a big dive. Dolan then got a big near fall off a big boot before isolating Paxley at ringside. Paxley was sent outside and landed on the women's tag chance. Carter and Chance then got involved and a big brawl broke out before the referee was forced to call for the match to end. On the whole, this gets a 5 out of 10 from me, to be honest. Wasn't too big a fan of this. The match never really got going before. It felt like stuff breaking down, to be honest. It just, on the whole, really, just for how short it was, nothing really went on except for they all had a massive brawl. It didn't do much for me, to be honest, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. From that, it was then time for big men to slap Manny. Von Wagner and Odyssey Jones. Both men ran at each other and collided, but neither went down. Wagner got a big clothesline off the ropes before getting some kicks and a takedown for a near fall. Jones gained control, but Wagner took down by Mr. Stone and an OP caused a distraction at ringside. The ref was looking away and Manic Blade came in with a drop kick, letting Odyssey Jones pick up the W. This gets 6 out of 10 from me. Did not see this coming, to be fair. I thought Von Wagner will get the win here. Being for Odyssey Jones, that's definitely a big statement for him to pick up the win against someone who was just challenging for the NXT title the other week. I've said it before, I'm a big fan of Odyssey Jones, so hopefully this starts something better for him. I think Von Wagner will probably recover. But anyway, it was then time for Ike Manjiro versus Javier Bernal. Jiro was starting slowly and hit a clothesline and a bulldog for a near fall. Bernal was showboating in front of the announce team before Jiro hit him with a big dive to the outside. Back in the ring, Jiro attacked Bernal with his jacket as the match went on. Bernal climbed the ropes, but Tokotoro Hurricane Rana. Jiro hit a Shining Wizard before picking up the win. Scripps attacked Jiro after the match and stole his jacket before hitting a big dive to take him out. This gets a 5 out of 10 from me. The match wasn't bad. Everyone loves Ike Manjiro in it. Good win for him, I suppose. It's just not really connecting with me at the moment. I didn't really feel much for this post-match run or really match either, to be honest. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. The New Day was out next, celebrating their recent tag team title win from Deadline. Woods recorded his first ever match on NXT 10 years ago against Big E. Pretty Deadly then came out to ask for a rematch, and Kofi said they respected the former champs, but they would have to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Bruce and Jensen came out with a US flag and started reciting the pledge before New Day offered them the title shot instead of Pretty Deadly. This was very weird, I guess you could say. Apparently, I'm not American, but reciting the Pledge of Allegiance gets you a North American title shot, so maybe I'll do that next week and I'll get a North American title shot, tag team title shot, wouldn't that be good? This was a very weird way of talking about it. I'm not going to comment on that much further. But it's time for the wrestling again. JD McDonough versus Brutus Creed. Brutus hurt his arm after a fall to the outside, and JD targeted the arm right away. McDonough stabbed Brutus' head into the announce desk and the ring post before getting a steel chair from under the ring. Indus Sher then showed up and stopped JD from using the steel chair before taking it away. McDonough then took Brutus back into the ring and hit the devil inside, picking up the W. It gets 6 out of 10 from me. Good win for JD McDonough. I mean, like, he still seems to be on a relatively decent run at the moment. Obviously, Brutus, you could use the excuse he's a tag team wrestler, not a singles wrestler. So yeah, I think for how this was supposed to go, it worked out perfectly fine. So it gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Zoe Starks was then backstage and called Nikita Lyons a waste across the space before challenging her to a match. Bit harsh, but there we go. It was in time for Lyra Valkyria versus Amari Miller. Valkyria obviously making her debut, and she got the first takedown before hitting a big kick and a drop kick through the ropes to the outside. Back in the ring, Miller got an elbow strike before beating the rookie down in the corner. Valkyria then hit Northern Light suplex for a near fall before Miller returned for a senton. Lyra then blocked a kick and sent Miller down before hitting the frog splash for the W. And yeah, this gets a 5 out of 10 from me, let's say. I mean, like, no issues with Lyra Valkyria. I thought it was a decent debut from her, but yeah, it just didn't do much connect with me, to be honest. So yeah, it gets a 5 out of 10. Kiana James then got Brooke Jones an early Christmas gift before we saw Toxic Attraction getting some other brawl with Carson Chance as well as Niall and Paxley. And then it was time for Damon Kemp versus Duke Hudson. Hudson was in trouble early, but came back with some big strikes before Kemp got a near fall. Drew Gulak came out ringside, but Andre Chase sent it back. Hudson returned with some big clotheslines before getting a massive belly-to-belly suplex. He rallied the crowd and followed it up with a running knee before picking up the W. And yeah, gets 6 out of 10 for me. Another good win for Duke Hudson and Chase U. But yeah, I think it's kind of entertaining because we all know where it's going eventually. I imagine Duke Hudson will join up with Drew Gulak. Sorry to be a spoiler, but I'm guessing that's what happened. And yeah, it will go from there. So yeah, you can't know where it's going, but at the same time, it's entertaining getting there. But anyway, it's then time for Mandy Rose versus Roxanne Perez in the NXT Women's Title match. Mandy was sent outside early before Roxanne hit a dive and tried for pop rocks. Perez was then sent into the steel steps before he headed for a break. Back on NXT, Roxanne countered a big move before taking a big boot. Mandy got a big move and a near fall before missing the knee strike. Perez tried for a roll up, but it was reversed into a crossface by the champ. The challenger then broke the hold, but took the running knee before Roxanne finally managed to roll Mandy up for the win. And yeah, it gets a 8 out of 10 from me, does say. Yeah, it's just such a good way to end NXT with Roxanne. I'm a big fan of her coming out on top. I mean, I would like to be a bit more convincing in a roll up, I can't lie, but on the whole, it was just a great moment. Mandy Rose had a great title run, credit to her. But yeah, it felt kind of time for something new, and I'm pleased Roxanne's going to lead this division. So yeah, gets an 8 out of 10 from me, great stuff. But overall this week, NXT gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good bits in there. Obviously the main event, joyous ending to a pretty mid-show, to be honest. But yeah, there were some good bits in there. But yeah, it just felt like lots of the matches were kind of squash matches, or just there to put people over, if you know what I mean. Would have been like maybe some more competitive and longer matches, to be honest, but there we go. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let us know what's comments down below. Follow us to share if there's any F1 news and subscribe to my channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching.